The ad industry does not have a creativity problem. It has a system problem. Now, a lot of time I get this question by, major coaches and founders. They reach out to me and ask, bro, how can I get the sort of results you're getting with your meta ads? Why is my performance marketing not working well? Why am I not able to generate leads? Well, the answer to that is it's because your system is not dialed in. You work on the tagline of launch now, fix later. It kills your performance marketing because, guys, you need to understand one thing. There's a lot of changes that is going on. A lot of changes with Meta. There's a lot of competition, a lot of people doing the same thing as you. And there's a major shift in market dynamics every single day. So if you don't work on the system, don't expect results that a properly dialed in system gets. So this is why at Revnado, we just don't scale campaigns. We scale systems that generate predictable income. And we scale inbound systems that actually work and not where you're just spending money and then changing again and then making changes and again spending and testing it out. And most people I see just keep testing out for fucking 2 or 3 months. And one such system that we scaled was for Humanoid. And this is one of the case studies that I want to break down of how exactly we did it and how exactly you can do as well. So for Humanoid, we need to understand that why most agencies run on Guesswork. So it's because they have an unstructured creative testing, they have a manual optimization loop, and their booking rate is inconsistent. So their results is driven by intuition and luck and not data nodes. And this is what needs to be solved. You need to have properly dialed in system that reads data and gives you real time feedback. So here we launched the campaigns for the Humanoid, and it was pretty good. It seemed like something that we'll be able to scale. And how did it went? Well, let's look into it. So you need to understand one thing, that the ad industry does not have a creativity problem like I was saying. It has a system problem. There are two components. Component A, structured variable isolation. So isolate hook, body, and CT as independent data points for recursive testing. You need to understand that all these nodes are very important, and people usually ignore these points and they think it's not that critical, but it is. And component B, which is logical based routing. Traffic is dynamically routed based on intent signal, not platform audience guessing. So most people just try to tweak their audiences, but it's not that. You need to read intent signal, which is why it's very important that you read data carefully. So here you need to understand what we do. So here's the system build out and the engineered inbound stack. So our testing architecture looks like this. So we have a hook, which is a fear versus greed hook. And we see what works best with what sort of industry or audience. Then we validate the engagement signal, and whatever variable we get after testing it out, we scale the winning angle. So you need to understand one thing. You cannot have fucking 10 variables and then try to find out the scaling, like the winning angle. You have to test just one variable and then decide what's working best. And that's how you get the winning angle. So we remove the human element from optimization. It's all data, real time data that gives you the right move forward, because market is the king and data is the queen, right? So then we move on to the logic flow, which is the AI handler logic flow. We have unqualified kick. Engine is AI scraping and qualification, and the outcome is book calls. And then we do it, and the feedback loop is within 30 hours. So the first few days are most critical when we launch the campaign so that you can constantly check it and see what's working and what's not. So how did it go? Then the average agency qualifies by hand. So our AI logic, it qualifies, hooks, and syncs to CRM automatically. So it's 30 plus hours a week reallocated back to strategy. So you don't have to do it all manually. The AI does the stuff, and you make sure you're putting in time and the right time. And this is what happens. People don't usually understand how important your time is when it comes to this, and how easily you can leverage AI in your benefit. And this is something that we have built at Revnado and we delivered it to our clients. This is why the results we get is what we get. And I'll show it to you. So here's the result of how it looked like. The click-through rate was 38%. So guys, I don't think so I need to tell anything about it. It's 420% from the baseline. 38% click-through rate. Our cost per lead was $0.2. $20 cents per lead. That is like 94% better than the industry. And we have automated calibration within 30 hours. So within 1 day of launch, you get real time data. So you can actually see what's working and what's not, and then tweak accordingly. Day one, proof of concept, first qualified call booked without human intervention. And I'm gonna show it to you of how it works. And this is something that is a comparison of the mode, which is the humanoid system got 20 cents CPL, and the traditional agency is 14.50 cents, 14 50 cents CPL. So you can understand the difference on how it affects your system if it is dialed in. So now, here's the snapshot of how the click-through rate here, as you can see, was 38.95%. And as you can see, it is very inevitable to not break the results and not break the industry average, because the CPC here was 0.05. And all of this is possible only if you have a dialed in system that does not work on guesswork, but actually works on data, where you're not putting in a time which is just manual labor and just spending your time on the wrong things, but actually reading data, which is powered by AI, and then you take decisions, which is helping you more fast and more efficient. So what was the day one result? Again, so it was first qualified book call booked automatically, no manual follow-ups, no delays, and no human bottlenecks. Everything handled end to end by the system. And this is what you want, guys, because your time is limited and essential to be focused on the right things. And if you have a system that not only works automatically, but also has a built-in data enrichment where you get the right quality of data and the correct data that you need in order to take decisions on how to move forward, your campaigns automatically perform. Now, enough talking. Let's get into the results. How it looked like for humanoid, right? So this is what it this is how it looked like for humanoid after we launched the campaign. um, First book call on the first day of launch. As you can see, the CEO was fucking hyped, and evidently so when you get such good quality results on your campaigns and calls booked within 24 hours. And yeah, it was a deal as well, because these were high quality, and we made sure, like I said, the creatives were very important, and the way we design it, and our team works on it, the way the creatives and copy were, the way we did the positioning, um, the leads that we generate are mostly qualified. Again, if they are not, they go through a system, again powered by AI, where the AI qualifies them, and only qualified calls are booked on the calendar. Again, moving on, we had we're killing it. Just 3 days of launch, we are already dialed in, and we are to the point. We just kept getting calls. And then the second appointment, it's a real good lead. The founder is hype. And you guys understand, being a founder, that it is so very important that your campaigns perform well and you get the results that you desire. And as you can see here, it was the same thing. And one of the other client that we had, same thing, it was a different client, but same systems and bigger results. All of you know, this is one of my favorite clients, and here's some of the wins that we did. And it is just pure inbound. The only client acquisition channel is inbound meta ads. And here's some wins. We spent $175 and 7.5K in revenue. This is what the note from the CEO was. 175 spent, and so far we closed like 7.5K. And then in a week, fast forward, we were 21.5K in 6 days and another 3.5K. So that's essentially 25K a week. How much did we spend? $1,000 ad spend and 25K a week. So $25,000 in a week with only $1,000 ad spends. That's fucking insane. And how do you think it is possible? It is all possible when you have the right system dialed in. Again, where you read data and implement the changes that is directed by data and not guesswork. So if your revenue depends on your charisma, you don't have a business, you have a job. So we have to build systems that outlive your personality. And that is what we do with Revnado. So if you're a founder and if you are struggling with your inbound system and if it's not performing well, it's time where you actually make changes in the system. And if you want system that is built and managed end to end, where there's zero guesswork, it's powered by AI, and you actually get results, reach out to us, reach out to my team on Instagram, and they will get back to you. And we can discuss how we can actually build this for you, where it's no more guesswork, but actually real systems that bring you real results. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.